international airport in Fiji to fly on Fiji Airways' longest route in their network in their business class cabin. Despite there being a lot of international flights going out this time of night, the check-in area was pretty much barren, although I still do recommend getting here 3 hours before your departure time. There is a premium lane for those passengers in the business class cabin, and for those going to the United States, you are unable to check in at the kiosk, so you will need to see an agent. This is the international gate area here at the airport, and it does get a little bit congested, but good thing I was flying business and I could use the airline's lounge, which is on the lower level. The airline's lounge at their home base here in Nandi was very nicely set up and also offered plenty of food, although I didn't want to eat too much considering the service on board is supposed to be amazing. And before I knew it, it was time to go up to the gate for the airline's longest route in their network, up to Dallas.
Yes, German Fiji Airways flight FJ890 bound for Dallas. We are happy to announce that your flight is now ready for boarding through gate number 3.
My aircraft for the flight up to Dallas would be DQ-FAM, a 2018-built A350-900 that was supposed to go to Hong Kong Airlines and then Hainan Airlines, but never ended up going to either of them, with Fiji Airways becoming the first airline this specific aircraft flew for in August of 2023. This aircraft carries the name Island of Banggai, and I'm almost 100% mispronouncing that, so I'm going to put the spelling on the screen. This aircraft also has the Survivor 50th Anniversary sticker on the left side of the aircraft. Fiji Airways Business Class has 33 seats in a 1-2-1 configuration, with my seat being 19A, a window on the left side of the plane. Waiting for me at my seat was a pillow as well as a blanket, along with the food and drink menu for the flight, a pamphlet talking about the controls of your seat, as well as a pamphlet on how to be sustainable and improve your well-being on long flights such as this one up to Dallas. Although it's a really small detail, another great feature of this seat is the foam between the seat and the window so you don't drop anything between the small space. Not long after sitting down, they came around with a hot lavender towel, as well as your choice of either fruit juice and champagne, and I chose the first one.
890 bound for Dallas. I have the pleasure of being your captain for today's flight. My name is Henry, and our Senior First Officer, Nicky Armstrong, is also up here on the flight deck, and Second Officer, Cassandra Robertson. Welcome aboard. Our dedicated cabin crew ready to be of service, as you've met already, Cecilia Sorby. Flight time over tonight, 12 hours. We'll be departing out towards the south or turning right and climbing to our initial cruising altitude of 35,000 feet. Please keep those seatbelts securely fastened. When the seatbelt signs are turned on, it's still required to have them securely fastened.
Strapped in your seat, do not move the seat. Call your cabin crew immediately for details on some of the safety features of this Airbus A350 aircraft. Cabin bags are to be placed in the overhead locker.
before I took this flight, Fiji Airways won the Apex World Class Award, which essentially puts them in the top 10 airlines in the world, and I can definitely see why given the upcoming service that I'm about to show you. About 20 to 30 minutes after takeoff, they came around and took our orders for drinks and food. To see the menu more in depth, you're welcome to pause the video. Let's take a quick look at the seat and its features before the food comes out. Obviously, with this being a lie flat seat, there was tons of room at my feet. This cubby here is a perfect size to fit the blanket and any other small items. And you can see it a little bit better here in this clip. Your armrest closest to the aisle does extend upwards by pushing this button. And there's even a little compartment inside of it, which is where your water bottle and your headphones are located. On the side of you, there is this control panel which controls everything from a light above your head, and offers everything related to seat movement, from recline to lumbar support to the extension and lowering of your footrest. Or if you just want to put it right into bed mode, there is a specific button for that, as well as putting it back into mode for takeoff and landing, and a recline mode as well. On the side of you, there are these larger compartments which are open using a button. Although the compartments are on the larger side, they're not very deep, but they can fit items like my camera. This area is also where the power outlet's located, as well as the USB port. Opposite the power outlet, there's also a headphone jack as well as another USB port. And in between them, there is this smartphone-looking object which controls your IFE in front of you, which can be released using this button and is on a retractable cord. This device controls your IFE screen essentially like the mouse pad on a laptop, but you can do other stuff from it as well, like calling the flight attendant or turning on your reading light. In an effort to be as sustainable as possible, Fiji Airways has deconstructed amenity kits. And one of the things that they brought around that's usually in amenity kits was a variety of moisturizing oils as well as hand cream, all of which can be found in the sustainability and well-being menu that they gave us before takeoff. They handed them out in these little bags, that way you could bring them home with you as they zipped shut. Plus they were also travel sized in case you had to go through security again. Table in front of you was released using a lever right underneath it and slides down on this little track here. Once you get it close enough, you can unfold it and double the size, which you'll definitely need as there is a lot of amazing food coming. Here you can see me watching something on the IFE screen with the handheld device next to me so you can see what it would look like, and essentially acts just like a remote. Because you're in business class, they also hand out these cards for complimentary Wi-Fi, which connects you for the entirety of the flight, and can be accessed using a code and website on the back. The first thing that came out was candied papaya, roasted almond, and toasted coconut, along with your choice of drink, which I chose to be a Hugo Blue Turtle and is a Fiji signature cocktail. The next thing they brought out was the tablecloth to get ready for the next course. With an amazing presentation for the meal that included a flower and a candle that's obviously fake, the starter was smoked chicken with compressed melon, pickled radish and mango gel, along with a bowl of assorted bread on the side, along with your drink of choice. The crew was very attentive, as not very long after finishing my starters when they brought around my main course option. My choice for the main course would be grilled mahi-mahi with corn coriander cake, prawn chili oil, along with lime ginger marmalade. Again, all of which was presented very nicely. After an amazing meal, there was still one more thing to come, and that was the dessert. The option I chose was pineapple sorbet with lemon curd, vanilla ice cream, along with candied pineapple wafer on it. For those that didn't get a great look at the food menu, I'll be posting a picture of it towards the end of this video. Now about 2.5 hours into the flight, I decided to put my seat into lie flat mode and get ready for sleep. An example of it's the little things that count that lead to a great experience is that when I was away from my seat, the crew made my lie flat seat look like an actual bed, including the pillow from before, an extra comforter, along with an extra blanket, which all just added up to make this amazing experience of going across the Pacific on Fiji Airways' longest flight. As mentioned briefly before, Fiji Airways does have deconstructed amenity kits, so I did request an eye mask as well as socks before going to sleep. After a little bit over 6 hours of sleep, I decided that was enough for me, especially considering it was 2 p.m. in Dallas and I needed to start getting used to the time zone changes back home again. By this point in the flight, we had a little under 3 hours left and we had climbed to a higher cruising altitude given we had burnt a lot of fuel in our journey. But because there were still a lot of people sleeping, I didn't want to open my window shade and bother them, so here's the view from the nose cam. Let's go over their IFE system before the breakfast comes out. Fiji Airways' IFE system offers many cool features from movies and TV, to live cameras, to the moving map, along with plenty of information about local stuff to do in Fiji. With tons of movies and TV to watch, there was plenty to do for the long flights that Fiji Airways operates, including this flight to Dallas, which is the longest in their network. If movies and TV aren't your thing, they also offer games that you can play not only for kids but for adults too. But if you don't want to play games or watch anything, you can also learn how to say some words in Fijian. There are also videos about the history of Fiji Airways, along with other things you can do in Fiji. Or you could just look at the Fiji Airways route map, which also includes a couple of destinations from their partner airlines. About 2 hours before landing, they came around to set our table for breakfast and asked what we wanted from the menu. The breakfast was chia seed pudding with coconut milk, local fruit, as well as granola on it, a fruit plate with papaya, passion fruit, kiwi, and pineapple, a small dish of breakfast bakery items with hand-churned butter, and for the main item, I chose salted caramel banana waffles with passion fruit butter. And just like the meal the night before, it was wonderfully presented with a flower as well as a fake candle, and your choice of drink. As promised, here's a picture of the food menu so you can see what my choices were during this flight between Fiji and Dallas. And of course you can pause it if you want to read it a little bit longer. There was a section of the menu on the bottom right called light dining, which was for people that woke up in the middle of the night and wanted something else besides another full meal.
In the next couple of minutes, we'll commence descent into Dallas. Subject to air traffic control, we'll again touching down at 4:30 p.m. local time. Our time now, 4 p.m. There's a 17-hour time change between Fiji and Texas. We're also landing Tuesday, the 16th. Temperature on the ground, warm 34 degrees Celsius, equating to about 93 degrees Fahrenheit. Light southerlies at 5 knots. And mainly fine conditions. On behalf of Fiji Airways and our codeshare partners, First Officer Armstrong, Second Officer Gardner, Ambassador Cecilia, and the rest of the crew, it's been our pleasure flying you across to Dallas. We thank you for choosing to fly with us and helping plant a tree through our every takeoff, one tree initiative, supporting a greener future with every journey. Once again, Vinaka, and thank you.
And before I knew it, it was time to start cleaning up the cabin for the arrival into Dallas. This also meant that the flight attendants came around and collected the comforters as well as the headphones that we used during the flight. But if you were still using your headphone, you could just leave it on the seat when you got off.
Shortly we'll be landing into Dallas. In preparation for landing, please return to allocated seat. Check that your seat back is upright, your seatbelt fastened, and your tray table locked away. Your hand...
I also grabbed one more Fiji water for the road, although I did drink it before getting off, especially since I had a connecting flight and had to go through security again in Dallas. spent the rest of the flight enjoying the movie as well as the views beneath me as we descended into Texas.
Cabin crew should now be seated for landing.
Dallas Tower, good day, Fiji 890 Heavy, established.
Fiji 890 Heavy, DFW target afternoon, runway 18 right, clear to land, caution, white turbulence, heavy 767, short file.
18 right, please land, Fiji 890 Heavy.
Fiji 890 Heavy, turn left at Echo 3. Taxi via Echo, Whiskey Lima, hold short, runway 18 left.
Hold short, runway 18 left, Fiji 890.
I had an absolutely amazing time flying Fiji Airways from their home in Nadi to Dallas-Fort Worth here in Texas, which is also the longest flight in their network. As I mentioned previously, the airline did win the Apex World Class Airline Award for 2026 about a week before I took this flight, and I 100% can see why they won this award. The service on board was fantastic, and the attention to every little detail was amazing as well. and it definitely sets them apart from other airlines, so it completely makes sense why they are now in the top 10 airlines in the world. So once again, congratulations to Fiji Airways for placing among the world-class airlines.
Good afternoon and welcome to Dallas. Of course, the international dateline in today is still Tuesday, the 16th of September, and the local time is 4:35 p.m.
From here, I continue with one of Fiji Airways' One World partners to my final destination after a 1.5 hour connection here in Dallas-Fort Worth. Before taking this flight, I had the opportunity to interview the airline's CEO, as well as get a tour of their flight training center in Fiji. Videos for both of these should be up on my channel soon.